As Ukraine continues its incursion into Russia's Kursk region, Moscow has renewed its aggression against Kiev. Russian strikes across Ukraine have killed at least 3 people, wounding several and damaging energy infrastructure. Now, explosions were heard in at least 6 regions of the country. According to regional governors, Russian forces killed 1 civilian in the central Dnipropetrovsk region, another in the Zaporizhia region, and a third in the western city of Lutsk. In capital Kiev, at least 7 explosions were heard and residents rushed to take shelter in metro stations. This comes amid a nationwide alert warning against Russian aerial attacks. Russian attacks also targeted energy facilities in the Lviv region in the west of the country, and earlier an attack on an industrial facility in the eastern region of Poltava wounded 5 people. But Ukraine has responded with crossfire and counter-claims. In retaliation, Ukraine has launched a drone attack on 2 key Russian cities, Saratov and Engels. A woman has been wounded and several homes damaged. The governor of the region has said that a residential complex in Saratov was damaged by falling debris, but the drones were destroyed by Russia's air defense systems. Now, in Engels, the top floor of a residential building was damaged. Emergency services were put up at affected sites in both Saratov and Engels. The region is several hundred kilometers distant from the border with Ukraine. Russia has a strategic bomber military base in Engels that Ukraine has attacked numerous times since Moscow's invasion in February 2022. Meanwhile, Ukraine has also accused its Moscow allied neighbor Belarus of concentrating troops on their shared border, warning against unfriendly actions. Kiev has asked Minsk not to make tragic mistakes under Moscow's pressure, saying it had recorded the presence of Wagner fighters on the border. And Ukraine has urged Belarusian armed forces to withdraw away to a distance greater than the firing range of Belarus systems. Remember, Belarus had allowed Russian troops to use its territory as a launchpad for their invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. The statement comes as Kiev mounts an incursion into Russia's Kursk region and as Russia continues its advance into eastern Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has reported further advances into Kursk. He said that forces have taken 2 more settlements under their control and that active actions are underway in 1 more settlement. Now, as part of an effort to counter Russia's advances in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk region, Ukraine claims to have seized considerable Russian territory in Kursk region and captured hundreds of Russian soldiers. Zelensky has also said that the country's incursion into Kursk was launched preventively to stop Russia from occupying Ukrainian cities of Kharkiv and Sumy.
And their next step was to prepare everything in the northern part of our country on the side of the city of Sumy near the Kursk region. And the difference here is that we did it preventively so that they would not capture our city and we were able to do it before them.
Well, for more on the latest strikes by Russia, our correspondent Anas Malik, who is in Kiev, tells us more from Ground Zero.
Well, this morning, the residents in Ukraine woke up with the sounds of air raid sirens from the west to the east to the center where I am in Kyiv. What we know so far is that there have been claims that have been made that this is the biggest Russian attack since the invasion, both drones and missiles that have been launched on Ukraine. Now, largely these attacks have targeted energy infrastructures. In fact, Ukrainergo, the Ukraine energy company, has now been authorized with power shutdowns to cope up with the losses that have been inflicted as a result of these strikes. Majority of the drones were intercepted. Meanwhile, the Russian president's office, the Ukrainian president's office, in fact, has said that they will be avenging this attack on the Ukrainian energy infrastructure, that what they say is being done by Russia.
Now, Anas is reporting from Kiev, and we also asked him to tell us more about the situation in the Ukrainian capital. Here's what he had to share.
Well, we heard explosions. We heard explosions since early morning, and they continue till about an hour back. Air raid sirens, air raid alert was ongoing. Residents were advised to go back to their shelters. What we also know is that there is a major power cut currently underway in the city of Kyiv, in the capital city of Kyiv where I am, and Ukrainian residents have been asked to stay vigilant because, as I said, we've heard explosions, and not just us, but people along have heard explosions. The sense in Kyiv, well, the visuals speak for themselves. There is a sense of this uneasy calm as life goes on, but despite of that, residents have been asked to stay vigilant.